Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Jean Armand. Welcome, new listeners, and thank you to my regular listeners for taking the time to listen and showing your support. I would love to hear from my listeners. Your feedback will be greatly appreciated as I strive to share information that you may find helpful. Send in topics of your interest, or do you have a healthcare story that you would like to share? If so, send me a direct message, or you can email me at thehealthflow@gmail.com. You can also just leave a voice message on the Anchor app. One more thing. How about consider becoming a supporter? Support this podcast with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes. Click the support link. Thank you once again, and I hope you find episode 10 as enjoyable as I have. Today, my guest is Shiro Forever. She is
Hello.
a certified personal trainer, wellness coach, and U.S. Air Force veteran who served in the Operation Enduring Freedom. She was awarded the Air Force Commendation Medal in 2002 for her meritorious service. Upon entry into the service, she was required to lose 20 pounds in order to meet qualifications for the Air Force Basic Training Standards. Without a trainer, a gym membership, or any guidance, she lost the weight. She changed her diet, ran every day until the pounds came off. Her passion for fitness soon blossomed. Shiro began training group fitness classes in 2002 at Meldon Hall Air Force Base in England. She is she dedicated much of her time to helping airmen get fit and lose weight. She is the owner of Shiro's Nation, a program dedicated to the cultivation of purpose driven women through fitness. Currently, she is embarking on a new journey as a transformational speaker on a mission to help women discover their purpose. Shiro believes that total fitness is a paradigm of physical, mental, and emotional balance. She believes that one cannot achieve optimal physical fitness without at first being mentally fit. The foundation of which Shiro's Nation is built was inspired by motivational teachings from Eric Thomas, Lisa Nichols, Les Brown, and the late Dr. Miles Monroe, and many more. Shiro, welcome to the Health Flow podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you. Who would have thought that about a year and a half ago, when we were actually, I heard about you through a mutual friend named Castina Carey.
Yeah.
She was doing I believe we were doing a weight loss, um, like a weight loss, what were we doing? A challenge.
We're doing a
That weight loss challenge. It was right after the new year, if I believe, and I decided I wanted to join. I had seen these awesome pictures of Tina, and she had worked with you before, and really, I was really impressed with you, the way you were able to motivate even long distance, because you live in Sterling, Virginia, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and even through just the phone calls, the sending in pictures, you were able to jumpstart my health and wellness program. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you even having me on the podcast. And I'm so I feel so honored and so blessed that you were doing that being so far away because a lot of people, I mean, it's hard to get motivated even in person. So for me to be able to do that and, help you through that, like it really meant a lot to me.
Yes, and it meant a lot to me to have someone to be accountable to. So, just to get started, I want to know why did you choose the military as a career path, and most specifically, the Air Force?
Uh, well, I didn't, so as far as like with the branch, I was in um, ROTC while I was in high school. And so Air Force
Okay.
just happened to be the first thing I jumped into. And so I'm not even sure had it been the Marines or the Navy if that would have been my first choice.
Right.
But the reason that I joined when I did join is because I was getting out of a really unhealthy and abusive relationship. And so the Air Force is what saved me, like literally saved my life. And
Wow.
yes, I had to lose weight to enter the Air Force because at the time I think I weighed 163 and it was the Air Force standard was like 142.
Yeah.
So I knew that that was, probably an option for me. I didn't know whether I wanted to go straight to college or whether I was going to go in the Air Force, but there came a time where I was just like, okay, I got to go now. And so while I was thinking about it, I actually lost 20 pounds in like less than 6 weeks.
Wow.
And that wasn't, I knew that was an option, but I wasn't really serious about it. I was just like, when I realized I didn't meet the standard, I kind of panicked a little bit. I was
Right.
like, I gotta lose this weight. And I didn't know what to do. So I ran every day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, about how old were you at this time? I know you said you were in an abusive relationship, and actually, that's a good, that's a good reason to like get away. I mean, the military takes you
Right.
away.
Gene, I wasn't even 18. I was 17.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I was 17. So when I went in the military, because I went in November, so I turned 18 there in basic.
Okay, so had you graduated from college, from
I
high school yet?
I did. I graduated early.
Okay.
So I
So,
graduated early and then
uh-huh.
I left.
Wow. That was your way out.
Yep, that was my way out. I always tell people like the Air Force was the best decision I ever made. I'm not sure if I had been in that relationship, if I would have taken that, you know, that
Wow.
route, but I'm glad I did.
Wow. Do you want to talk anything else about that abuse? Say anything else about that abusive relationship?
Well, so I grew up without a lot of guidance. I came from a really broken home and my mom, she suffered from mental illness. And so I had a lot of freedom really young. And not a lot of parental guidance. My father, he was killed when I was 9. And so me getting into that relationship was kind of looking for, attention, and I didn't see it coming. I was so young and lost. I didn't even see it coming. And so when the abuse started, it was it was new to me, but it wasn't new because I'd seen it before. My mother had been in an abusive relationship before and I witnessed it. And so um for a while I wasn't sure how to get out of it, but when I did make the decision, it was like literally a split decision. And I believe that if I would not have stayed, he would have killed me.
So it
So
was physical abuse.
it was physical. It was physical. And it got to the point where when I did join, so I saw a recruiter when it started getting bad. I started going and visiting a recruiter just to see what my options were.
Right.
And I did all the paperwork and then I backed out one time and I was like, no, I was scared because I wasn't sure. And then one day the abuse got so bad that I left in the middle of the night. And then the next day is when I went back to see my recruiter and I took whatever they offered me. I mean, I left at 5 a.m. the next morning and got on a bus.
Wow.
Never, I did not look back.
Yeah. That's I know there's a lot of abuse going on out there, and from a person who's never been physically abused, it just takes me to a different place in my mind because I just don't understand. I don't understand the
Yeah.
mentality of the abuser. And I know they say abuse is now one thing that came to my mind was he older or was he your
Oh,
age?
yeah. He was older. He was
He was
older.
older.
He was he was about 7 years older than me.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
and it's it's funny because looking back, I I was young. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I was just so lost. And I just imagine the girls who have dealt with the same thing just from not having the guidance and then being manipulated and, getting attention and thinking that it's what they want or that it's cute and
Right.
then completely losing themselves.
Yeah. Wow. And you, like you said, you grew up with your mom being abused. So it's not like it was something abnormal to you to see
Mm,
that, to say, for alarms to go, oh my goodness, if this guy touched me, that's never cool. That's never
right.
right. I need
Yeah.
to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough. But so after you get into the Air Force, what was that experience like, especially you training airmen? What was that like?
Um, the Air Force was the best decision I ever made. Like I was free. I mean, I was liberated, and I think apart from now, it's probably the happiest time I've ever experienced. I was free to make my own money. I was free to travel. I made new friends. Um, I had responsibilities very young, and I owned it. Like I excelled when I was in the military. I got Airman of the Year. um I was flown to the Pentagon for um an award that I received for Airman of the Year, and I wasn't even quite 19 when that stuff happened. I mean, I
Well,
did very
how did you get Airwoman or Airman of the Year?
well.
What accomplishment?
So basically, we get what's called an EPR, evaluation performance record. And so I got really high marks on my EPRs, and I've always been very proactive. So anytime I did my job, I would step into the leadership role. And I did things. I worked in mobility, so I worked on the flight line and people who would deploy to different locations for deployment. And my supervisors were really impressed with my work. And I mean, I don't even know what made me get in and swim as hard as I did when I joined, but I think I was just so happy to be free,
Yeah.
and I was so liberated from being away, and I felt like a grown up. I felt responsible, and I knew I was drowning in that old relationship. It wasn't me. When I grew up, I still did well. I was a straight A student. So despite the circumstances, I tried really hard, and then I just found myself, distracted. And the Air Force put me back on track.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. But how were you received by your fellow Air Force men?
I believe very well. Um I started working out, and I think that the fact that I had to lose weight to enter myself, and then I saw people who were failing their um performance evaluation for fitness, and I was like, well, I want to help. So I
Right.
started spinning classes. I started training. This was even before I was certified. I was like, I would meet people at the gym and be like, let me train you. We can do this together. I'm the type of person who wants to help everybody. And so I would, I would help whoever I could. And I think that kind of fulfilled me. It did something. I like the reward that I got from seeing people who got better, you know?
And met their milestones and their
Right.
goals. Wow, that's amazing. And so you started even before that was part of your duties, you started training people, in the Air Force until you actually formed classes after that to where,
Right.
okay.
Yep. And then I decided to get certified. So then I started teaching spinning classes and group fitness classes for the base. Um, and it was like I would do that after work. Um, and I just got really into the whole aspect of training and motivating people. And I think it's never left me since.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, tell us about your beliefs on wellness. You talked about the paradigm of physical, mental, and emotional balance before you can actually even, you know,
Right. So,
meet your
personally, I believe that I always tell people, I think it's a trifold paradigm. You need physical, mental, and emotional balance in order to be well, right? And
right.
if any of those things are off balance, you're not going to feel whole. And it's a real struggle to get back to your center. Um, and I think fitness brings us closer to God. I strongly believe that because for me, I equate fitness to virtuous principles in action. So when we're as fit as we want to be, it's going to take everything such as commitment, discipline, determination, faith, all of those virtues that essentially bring you to God, but in action, because you can't be whole and you can't be fit if you don't apply those principles. So when I started training and doing boot camps, one of the things that I really wanted to focus on was training the mind. I know that, like, for me, physical fitness is the easy part. It's the mind that's the hard part. It's the mind that makes you get up out of bed in the morning. It's
Yeah,
your mind that you need to train to eat right. It's your mind that you have to train when you want to stay committed, because commitment is the act of doing something when you don't feel like it, you
right,
know? And
right.
so I focused on, all right, let me motivate these women um, to understand that the focus is on loving yourself. So I started with declarations. What is your declaration? What is the statement that you believe about yourself? Or what is it that you want people to leave with whenever they leave your presence? Like, what do you offer? And focusing on that is what I felt like would bring you closer to your own center of being well.
Wow. Now, I've seen, and, I get this question or people, okay, I've seen your Instagram page and you look wonderful. You have a great body. I mean, you've got
Thank
six,
you.
12, 8 packs, okay? You're ripped. You're looking awesome.
I think more, but
And I realize, but that, okay, health to me, it is not necessarily um that, we all come in different shapes and sizes. Some women don't aspire to be, muscle or ripped. They still want to, they want to be healthy, but not necessarily show all those muscles.
right.
Okay. I definitely aspire to have more muscles than I do now. Okay. I want to be leaner.
Yeah.
But especially in our culture, one of the things that, we struggle where women are talking about, you know, thickness, being thick,
Right.
or, a man wants somebody who they can hold on to. I mean, I believe personally that if we can just get to the point where we're at our best,
Right.
at your personal best that you're comfortable with, that's where we need to start because mentally you accept yourself, and I mean, if your numbers are good, your blood pressure is good, your everything, when you're having your checkups annually, everything is good, and you're not um, with any health risks that are due to you not being in shape or you having
Right.
too much body fat, I'm all for that. I'm not trying to convince anyone that they need to be a size 5 or 6. It's not about the size. I just want to get it to everyone that it's about your health,
Right.
that you should be having the correct amount of body fat, not because a lot of body fat is just not good. I don't care who thinks it's cute and it's thick.
Right.
And I'm not putting anyone down, but sometimes I think we tell these things to ourselves so we can get
Because it
out
lets
not
the hook.
working to be better. What do you
Because
feel about that?
yes. I that when we say things like that, it lets you off the hook because
Yes,
it doesn't make you accountable for what you may want. Because at the end of the day, when we say things like that, it's not saying I enjoy or I appreciate how I look and I'm happy with how I feel. It's all predicated on how someone else feels about how we look.
right.
And so that's still a frame of mind that we should change. Um, and I struggled with that too because you hear it all the time.
We
And
hear it.
right. And then as a trainer, you work with people who have that frame of mind as well. And I can only like when I'm training someone, I always ask, what are your goals? What do you want to see? Where do you want to be uh, in this amount of time?
Right.
And based off of your answer, that's how I'm going to train you, or we'll have a conversation, and I'll tell you what I think is reasonable based off of my professional opinion. But sometimes it's how you say things um, that'll let me know what exactly it is that
What you
you
really want.
achieve. Yeah, because sometimes people they say things like, "Oh, I really don't want to look like this," because it lets them off the hook. Or you kind of fear that you can't get there.
Right.
And that's okay to say too. But I think recognizing that is the big issue. Like
Yes.
able to recognize that is very important and it's powerful because then you can say, like, then I'm able to say, all right, this is what you can do and let's try. Because everyone has limitations, right?
Right.
But some people are afraid. It's almost like if I've always been over 200 pounds, I'm afraid. And I think in my mind, I've trained myself to believe, well, I can't be less than that. So I just want to be healthy and look good in my clothes, even if I'm still 200 pounds.
Right.
But that might not be the truth, you know? And,
Right.
and fear and overcoming fear is such a big thing because like one of those virtuous principles is being able to have courage as well, and it's the courage to kind of step out and do those things that because think about it, when we most of my clients will go on a meal plan, right, and they'll do it and they'll step on the scale and be like, oh well, this isn't working, it hasn't worked for me for 5, 6, 7 days, so you know what, I'm just going to go back to eating junk.
Right.
Well, it's not working either.
Yeah.
you know so we do that, we self-sabotage because we fear that it won't happen because we don't utilize that, and we don't exercise our faith.
Yeah. I'm telling you, eating has so much to do with it. Like right now, so I enjoy cycling and I'm working and traveling at this time, and I'm actually recording from California right now.
Yeah.
And um, I don't have my bike or my real bike or my Peloton with me because I'm a Peloton member. Love
Oh,
it.
nice.
And
Heard so
this,
many good things about that.
oh my gosh, yes. That's my winter way, okay? And I decided I was in Arizona before, now I'm in California. So I decided this time around I wasn't going to take my bike because I had my bike in Arizona. Where I'm at in California is pretty cool. And, when I first came, it wasn't biker friendly.
Hmm.
So I actually purchased, and then I'm really not in an area where I have membership to LA Fitness, and usually most towns have a LA Fitness, so I have options, and I don't have that now. I don't have that. So and of course you don't need gym membership. You can go out walking. It's so many
Right.
different things that you could do. So I got a set of I don't have them in front of me, but I think they're Go Fit like stretch bands where you can
Uh-huh.
connect through the door posts. So it's like a little portable home gym. And the best thing I've done is I actually started watching what I'm eating with. I got into the Weight Watchers, just the plan. Just the
Right.
tracking of your food, and helping me monitor the points. And I'm telling you, once you get it, you get it, because I feel like without really trying, weight is just dropping, and I'm not exercising like I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's a change in the mindset. It's literally like I was walking through the grocery store yesterday and I saw these chips. So I had a choice. It was the jalapeno chips or the vegetable chips. But when I scan the jalapeno chips and realize how many points they are, I was like, heck to the no. I'm not
Yep.
wasting all those points. These veggie chips are going home with me. It's about
Yep.
choices.
It is.
I mean, and understanding that it's been such an eye opener for me, realizing certain foods that just really, ruin your day as far as you maintaining, a caloric goal for
Right.
that day.
But you know what Weight Watchers also did for you? Okay, there's a point system, but the brilliance behind creating the point system is that it raised your level of consciousness,
Yes,
right?
yes, it raised my level of consciousness for the type of foods that I was eating.
Right.
I mean, an almond joy, a chocolate, that I'm not a chocolate lover. The only chocolate bar I like is almond joy. It is something ridiculous, like 13 points for
Mhm.
one little bar. Maybe it's maybe 12, whatever it is, it's too high when you're
Right.
talking about I can only have 23 in a day. And this
Yep.
one little bar, I'm going to actually eat that and not, oh my goodness, it raised my consciousness. I'm
Yeah.
so in tuned right now to what I eat. And I just see this, I mean, there's like this new, I told a really close girlfriend, I looked back and I didn't even know who that was. Like there's this person behind all that stubborn weight that we've been carrying around that's like looking
Yeah.
back at me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I surprised my own self.
Hmm.
It can be done, and we just
Yeah.
need people. My whole thing is just to inspire everyone to live their best healthy life.
Right.
Get the
And
knowledge.
nothing like it when you get there. It's just like falling out of it. You kind of feel like, why did I ever do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just not worth it. I'm just like, I love French fries. And it's not that I won't ever eat French fries, but I'm going to really choose and think hard and plan my strategy to eat
Right.
those fries, and plan that I can also do some exercise that's going to help burn it. Like, yeah, it's like a strategy. I mean, you got to strategize for everything else.
You
Why
do.
why aren't we doing that for our health? For our health. So
Right.
now tell me, what are some of the strategies that you use to accomplish total wellness?
For one, I focus on my declaration because which is I'm a powerful, passionate, and confident leader. And for me to live by those words, I have to lead by example.
Right.
And I don't always, I'm human, so I have weaknesses too. I love me some chocolate. Um, I don't know how I go through that much coffee, but I drink coffee lately. It's like I just told my boyfriend, I was like, I don't know how we've drank so much coffee, but we have been tearing up the box of coffee. And so, and it's the Keurig, and it's the Keurig. Don't get
Yeah,
one.
I know. I have one too, girl, and it's the first thing in the morning. And yeah, I can decrease my coffee intake. I probably could do that for sure.
Yeah, and but that's my number one go-to is my declaration. And then consistency. That's my word for the year is consistency. Um,
So when you say your declarations, now, is that something you say to yourself every morning, every
every
night?
morning, every morning. I do it every morning. When I at boot camp, um, m- me along with my boot campers, we all line up and we state our declaration and we state our word for the year before we even start our workout.
Wow.
And then we begin because I want it to be on your mind before you start your day. Just
Okay.
remind yourself of who you are and why you're doing this. Because so many times we forget. I've lost myself twice in my life, and fitness was what helped me find my way back.
Right.
And I want to share that. Like, if I could help anybody reach their goals the way, or by helping them uh, utilize some of the tools that I've used, then I want to do that. So for me, it was my declaration. And some people would probably say, well, what does that have to do with fitness? And to me, I'm like, everything, everything.
Right. How do you address like the mental well-being? Like, do you ever have any conversation with your clients to say, hey, it is important that, I mean, because people are going through some things. I
Oh,
mean, all the time, whether you're going through divorces or loss, gains, just whatever
right,
it is, jobs, whatever. We're going through something, and a lot of weight gain or weight problems are many times triggered by the stress you're going through in your life, where
right,
you're just like, you're not thinking about what you're eating or you're overindulging because it's a comfort. When you're going through stuff, you turn to something to deaden that pain of whatever you're going through. And it may be food and it may not being as active, you
absolutely.
know, and we need people to like change the mindset of, yeah, I'm going through something. It'd be nice if we say, oh, I'm going through something, let me work out more, but that doesn't
Right.
always happen. And I guess I'm saying is, how do you address that? A woman may be going through some stuff. Do you suggest counseling? Do you have time that to talk it out? Do you say, hey, you need to really deal with, the mental
Oh,
things that's going on?
yes. So one of my big things is I always say we need each other. So because I'm not a counselor and I know that some people aren't there where they feel comfortable going to counseling, I focus on camaraderie and building the sisterhood within our group. And I always try to, like, whenever you come to my boot camp, I don't care who you are, you're gonna feel like you've been
You
there on us forever.
be-
Like, I want you to feel like family because women go through so much. Like, I have so much respect for who I am as a woman and every woman just because we do it all and we don't even realize that we do that. And we put ourselves on the back burner so many times
yes,
and we end up wearing our problems and we wear our circumstances on our body.
yeah,
So the weight that we gain is basically a reflection of our stress and our problems and our anxiety and everything that we have going on because we don't stop to take care of us. We just kind of pack it on and that's where it sits. And so
right,
for me, I focus on camaraderie because I always tell my ladies, like, don't leave the pack because we need each other. And when I'm motivated, you might not be motivated. And so my energy might be what you need to get up in the morning. And so I encourage them to, like, in our group chat, to, share their journeys, share their struggles, share your insecurities. You're not alone. And I think that the more vulnerable that you are, the more you stay connected, because you're least likely to fall off when you know that someone is sharing the same journey with you,
Right. Giving you that support that you need.
giving you
Not
support.
alone. You're not alone. And looking forward to a good positive outlet.
Right, right. and
Yeah.
and that's love. Like, my ladies show up, and people go through things. There's people who stop coming because they haven't been, and then I've had a couple of people who say, well, I gained weight and I was too embarrassed to come back. And I'm like, no, like that's the
No,
least
girl.
should be the least of your,
We fall down, but we get up. So just
right,
keep on getting up.
keep coming. And I just love the fact that at times they're just watching it, because I can stand back and look at everyone blossom. And I think it's the most beautiful thing to see someone who has doubted themselves and then come every morning and then try and push and push. And then one day they're like, oh man, I'm 16 pounds down. And then you start to see the personality change and the confidence come through. So it's so much more that's tied to who you are in fitness. Like, it's almost like you can reveal, like, you shed layers and you shed layers, and then you can let that confidence show.
Yes, definitely. It was definitely in my, I can say that I was one of those people that was totally lost in, when I say totally lost, like me, in my mind, I knew I wanted to work out and to be healthy and be better. I always wished for it ever since I started having children. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
each child, there was more weight that I put on and more weight, but it wasn't priority. It never could be because
Mm-hmm.
I was busy raising children, having my family. I just couldn't focus. But then once that family dynamic kind of, got disheveled and
Mm-hmm.
kids are getting older and things change, then it was totally time for me to focus on me,
Yeah,
and I came to a fork in the road, just like it says in the, you're going to choose life or you choose death. So for
yeah,
me, was I going to choose destruction or was I going to choose health? And I chose health. I chose that, hey, I want to work out. I want to start riding. I want to do spin class. I mean, I want to lift a little weights. I want to get better. I don't want to, you know, get bigger because I'm going through a major change in my life. So now I'm going to sit home, be sad, eat, drink, and be
right.
more unhappy at the end of the day. And I'm glad for having people I could talk about it with. And then also that, even joined me and other women that I could join with writing and things like that to, just to be a better person. So I can be
Yeah,
happy with the woman in the mirror.
right.
So yeah, I just want to make, empower women that yes, when you're going through things, um, choose the healthier way. And for us, including myself, because you're a whole lot younger than I am, but for the younger women, I want to make sure that they have a healthier lifestyle and not wait until we're told that we have health conditions that we then start try to work out and do better. And I mean, things are going to come upon us maybe that no matter how healthy we are,
Mm,
no matter what, we're not, just because you work out and you're at ideal weight and you do all this doesn't mean that health problems won't come on you. But I tell
right.
you what, if you get diagnosed with a some kind of medical condition and you're a very fit and healthy person, you have a better chance of fighting and beating that thing versus an unhealthy person. And that's
Exactly.
where that's where I want to go. It's like even for the younger women coming up, I want them to keep that healthy body so you're ready to fight no matter what. You're
Hmm.
better. It's like your car. I mean, you keep that car in tip-top shape, more than likely it's not going to run you down. It's
Exactly.
not going to let you down.
Like a friend of my friend's husband said, it was so funny, but it's so true. He said, your car, treat your body like a luxury car. You're not going to put just any gas in a luxury
Right.
car.
Premium.
Put that premium fuel in your body. Yes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, we're all that. We're powerful. We're women. We can, we do so much, but we have to remember to take care of ourselves, our body, our mind. And I
Mhm.
mean, men are great too. I'm not putting them down, and they need to be proactive and take care of themselves. This is for everyone. We want
Right.
everyone to take care of themselves so they can live longer, healthier, stronger lives.
I broke my foot recently.
You
uh,
did?
I did. So I'm still on the ups. I'm on the other side of healing, and I remember the feeling like when I broke my foot because
Wow.
it happened at work, and it was my left foot. So I drove myself to the emergency room when I did, and I I have a trainer too that I train with, and I texted him and I said, I just want to let you know that I broke my foot. So can you please create an upper body workout for me tomorrow? And
Wow.
he said, seriously? And I said, yes, because there's nothing wrong with my arms. But the
Wow.
reason I did that is because so many people, when, I always told myself, I have clients who've had issues with, their knees or their feet. And I'm like, all right, your arms still work, because I don't want you to fall off and for that to be a reason why you're
Yes.
let off the hook when,
Yes.
and
Because
then, and
sit
if you,
down and work out.
right. And then you can fall so far behind, and not just physically, just mentally. Even if all you did was stretch your upper body, there
Right.
has to be some
Yeah.
you stay linked, and that you stay as close to your center as you can.
Right.
Because
That,
there was a man in the hospital when I went, and they put me in this wheelchair because I ended up not being able to walk once I got there. So they put me in a wheelchair, and he passed me and he asked me what happened. But he had one leg and it was in a wheelchair. And I told myself, I'm so grateful that I can stand when I want to, like
mm-hmm.
I'm about to heal. My leg, he can't stand up if he wants to.
Right. He's already lost that
He
leg.
already lost his leg. And then I told myself, I was like, God, as long as you give me this body and that works and my limbs are still here, I'm not gonna take it for granted,
Right.
because I wouldn't want to trade places with him. So I need to be grateful for what I have. And that level of gratitude that I had was just like immeasurable. I can't express to you like the perspective that I have now on taking care of myself, because at any moment you might not be able to function the same.
Amen. Oh, yes, for sure. And it's that actually, to me, you show gratitude for what you have by how you take care of it.
Yes. Yes.
That's in everything. That's in relationships. Because if I'm in a relationship and that person, and I'm doing all this for my partner, and they're never saying thank you and I appreciate you and just showing gratitude, after a while, you can feel some kind of way. You know what I mean? So
Right.
thank goodness that our maker is not like that. But, you owe it to yourself to show
Yeah.
gratitude by taking good care of you.
Yep.
Yes, yes. So that's awesome. So anyway, I heard you talk about your boyfriend. So what's going on? How is the love of your life? Do you guys work out together, or are you the one motivating him, or he's motivating you, or he does not work out at all? Tell me, share it, girl.
No, okay, so he does. He works out. We don't work out together like I'd like to, not as much as I'd like to, but we do when we can. And I just enjoy the fact that I have someone in my life who appreciates fitness and health. You know, both of us have had parents. Neither one of us have our parents are deceased,
Wow.
and both of us have had a sick parent. And so I think the connection that I have with him based off of that makes it more important for the both of us to stay healthy. So we're always like focused on that. You
Very
know,
nice.
we have our days where we eat what we want,
Right. Everyone does that.
you know, more than what we'd like to sometimes. But at the same time, the consciousness that he has, it keeps me on track. And then like even if I feel like, okay, we need to get back on track, it's just good to have someone in your corner.
Yes. And I think it's nice to have just even, you know, people that live in your area, other women that live around you, or even online groups and networks that can help you stay motivated. Just like, with me, with when I ride Peloton, and then we have a Facebook, and people share their stories, and you're cheering each other on about how many rides you've had. It just, you're doing it and you're not doing it alone. So for me, however way you need to find that
Every
motivation and,
there.
yeah, camaraderie, just to get with other people that's doing what you're doing, you
Right.
know,
Because
you-
you're not focused on the ride, you're focused on the people. It's kind of like you don't want to miss anything. You know, that's what I wanted to create
yeah,
a group. Like, I want y'all to come because you miss your girlfriends. Like, let's get together. And then while we're together, we're gonna work out. You know?
right. And we're getting to exactly, we're not just getting together to eat. You're not just getting together for a party or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. I love entertainment. I love getting together with my friends and going places, but can we also get together to work out? Can we do a bike ride on the weekend, or go to the gym, or swim,
Yeah,
walk? We need to make it seamless. Let it be part of your life. It doesn't have to be like this extra burden.
right.
That's what I want people to just, you know, working out. Yeah, you have to plan for it, but you have to plan for everything that you do. You
Right.
plan to go to work. Why can't you plan to work out?
Mm-hmm.
Plan your meal so you can eat right.
Oh,
Most
true.
of the time, you make bad decisions when you didn't plan what you're going to eat at work. Like, you're worth that time and effort. I tell people, like, you can put all these things on your calendar, but you can't put what's going to help you on your calendar.
Yeah.
Get me started, girl. Ooh. But anyway, so is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
Huh. Well, I think for me, I just want to encourage people. I don't know. You never know what you're going to say that's going to encourage somebody or where someone else is in their lives um, when you speak to them. And so, whenever I do something, I try to lead by example because, and then also let people know that I've been there. Like, I know it's not easy to do. I've struggled a lot. And I've never, you just have to remind yourself of how you feel when at the end.
Yes.
Nothing worth having is easy. There's a price for everything. There's a cost. And so, in the meantime, like sometimes you might have to expose yourself. You might have to let people see you at your worst in order for them to witness you at your best.
Mm,
But hiding from that isn't going to get you there.
right.
Some people are like, "Oh, I've had people tell me, I don't feel strong enough or I don't feel confident enough to come to boot camp because I don't feel like I can do it or I don't want people to see me struggle."
Wow.
And like it holds you back so much and it breaks my heart to hear because all I'm hearing or all I'm seeing is that you're missing out on you. You're missing out on you being your best self for something for a problem that you created because most of the time no one's even thinking about what you're doing. They're too busy and consumed with themselves.
Yes. Absolutely. Wow. Well, I hope everyone here I wanted you as a guest because I know how passionate you are about fitness and,
Thank you.
wellness completely, mentally, physically. And I just want, an opportunity to share with my audience that, there's multiple ways to do this. I'm not giving up on anyone, and they should never give up on themselves. Even if you're, at your highest amount of weight today, tomorrow you can start. We want to motivate you. There's people who want you to be the best that you can be. It's not about a certain size or certain amount of pounds, but it's about your health. What's
Right.
healthy for you, the healthy numbers. And that's it. I just want to inspire people to be the healthiest that they can be. And I thank you so much for taking this time. And hopefully, we can get well, not hopefully, I mean, we can keep in contact and just,
Yes.
just maybe once I know you're in the process of making new changes. People can still find you on Instagram at Forever Shiro and Forever She Laughs. And I'll have all this stuff about Miss Shiro Forever. And yes, that's her real name. Shiro with the last name Forever. I love it. And
Thank
we'll post everything about you. And once you get your website up, you can share it with me and I'll share it with anyone that wants to, learn more about what you're doing. And you're in the Sterling, Virginia area. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, you know what? I forgot. So, I can't believe that I will forget to mention this, but on November 1st, my book will be released, and so
Oh,
for
wow.
been struggling either with fitness or any detour. This book is not, and it's literally about how my failures led me to God. Um, and when I wrote this book, I didn't want it to be just for Christians. I wanted it to be for people who thought that they could never be saved or that they can never find God or that they strayed too far, who've been like far off like I had been. So it talks about my connection with fitness too.
Okay. And what's the title of it?
The Ugliest Cry. And you
The
can find
Ugliest Cry.
mhm,
Okay. And that's by Shiro Forever. And it's going to be available when?
November 1st. But you can pre-order now, but it will be available November 1st for shipping
Okay. And where can we pre-order it?
on Amazon.com.
Oh, okay now. So, um, you heard that right here. I didn't even know about the book, so I'm learning about it too. So we'll also have that information on the show notes so everyone can see it. Thank you all, and thank you, Shiro, for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Jean.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to the Health Flow podcast. I hope you found this session informative. Email topics of interest or questions to the Health Flow podcast at gmail.com. Follow me on IG at the Health Flow podcast. Like us on Facebook at the Health Flow. You can also leave a voice message. Hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating. Until next time, have healthy thoughts and do healthy things.